Yes.
I do.
Yep.
All right.
What's he doing?
He's doing a
So these, for those of you that were at the meeting that we had at St. Luke's a little while ago, this is going to look very familiar. It's a lot of the same stuff we talked about then, just updated. So you'll get some more up-to-date information. We changed a few things around in there too. So
Okay, I'm going to ask a quick question. Corbin.
Yep.
For people who tried to download the band app,
Yep.
but didn't do it with the invitation you gave, for instance, like in your last email, you did an invitation.
Yep.
I'm not sure people are connected correctly to the Rotary band. If they've downloaded the app, but they're not getting messages and stuff from you, should they delete the app or just try to rejoin?
So we'll go over this down
Okay.
here. But the answer to your question is they don't have to delete the app. If they created an account without the invite, then what's going to happen is they're just creating an account and they're not going into any group, right? So they need the invite link. Once they've created their account, they can just log in, and if they have a new invite link, they can click on that. It should bring them right in. But if you just download band, and
I don't know how
account,
successful we are doing it without the invite, is what I'm saying.
you won't be successful without it.
We won't be. So we should go. So do we delete the old app or
Corbin?
just go back and do your invite?
Don't delete the app.
I won't do anything.
Corbin, why don't you send out another invite?
I sent one out 2 days ago, yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
The other invite.
So
Haven't gone on yet.
All right. So
Okay.
as many of you already know, we lost Bill earlier this month. I didn't know Bill all that well, and I didn't want to, just copy and paste things onto the screen, and it just seemed insincere to me. So what I thought I would do is just give you guys an opportunity, for those of you that knew him a little bit better, if you wanted to say anything, or if you have anything to say, I'll give you that opportunity now. But I just, unfortunately, I didn't know him all that well, so I thought I would give you guys the floor on this.
I can go first if you want.
Sure.
There's so much to tell about Bill Davidson. As we know, he was all our friend, and he actually used to come up here in the summer when he was a youth, because his grandmother, who was a Mazzarella, I don't know if everyone knew that here.
Yes.
Yep. So he knew Sidney a little bit before he became a teacher, and he was also in the Army, and he was actually in the Army twice. They called him back, and he had to go back over to the Berlin Wall. He joined Rotary in 1989. Some of this was in the post that Corbin nicely put in the on our Facebook page. He was Rotarian of the Year in 2000. Of course, he was a past president. He sponsored a lot of people. He got a lot of people into Rotary. My list has at least 9. It goes way back. So he was always trying to get new members, which, and that just tells you, what an example he was setting. David, did he help you with the when you were district governor?
Dave, you're muted.
Bill Davidson helped everybody he came in contact with. And yet the direct answer is he helped me a tremendous amount.
Okay.
When I was district governor.
I thought he did. And I mean, he volunteered in so many organizations. There's too many to really name. And one of the things he did was, a lot of people didn't know, if for free, he would tutor students, that needed extra help. And he took one lady down at the Legion under his wing, and she had not graduated from high school. And she started taking classes, and he was just, he was that type of inspiration. Of course, he taught English at the 8th grade level. He was a wrestling coach. And as you know, as some of you know, Tom Robertson would say, Bill was just a nice man. And Tom Robertson said, nobody ever called me a nice man. So anyway, and he had a better record than Coach Robertson. And Coach Robertson was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Bill was also a cross-country coach. They started the program in 1965, and by 1967, they were already third in the state. They were that good. So he built that program right from, the beginning. He was also an advisor for the American Legion, and he also was a chaplain at the American Legion. And he would research every veteran and get as much knowledge as he could so he could do a proper service for them at his funeral. I mean, it doesn't surprise you. And he did that for 20 years because he was so organized and so thorough with anything that he did. I worked with him at the Legion when the flood came. He had brought all his ladders and we, painted the halls and things like that. And he was quite the go-getter. And I would spend, time with him at his house. We'd just go over things that, and I remember him and my dad used to go to track meets together, and they would also dig bottles together. That was a hobby of his, was digging bottles. And the last thing I would like to say is I'm just so glad that we were able to gather Rotarians, friends, and some of his athletes and students over at the Oxford home when he was there, his birthday. And I remember we also awarded him his 30-year plaque. So he was a great Rotarian, great friend, and you all knew him. I mean, what just a nice gentleman. I'm all set now.
Thank you, Larry.
This is Judy speaking on Bill Davidson. Can you hear me?
Yes, Judy.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take the teacher end of it. He was awarded Teacher of the Year. I don't remember the date, but his plaque is up in the high school. But he was just a fantastic teacher, but more importantly, a great friend. And there for all the kids, he was great. And I don't know what happened at the Boilermaker parties that he hosted. Women were not invited, but men were. Spence could tell you maybe.
No, but something for the old junior high people. Had a reunion every year up at his camp here when he did retire. That was just a great event.
It was all you great teachers from Sidney High School. That's why it was a great event.
Thanks,
Speaking
Larry.
Speaking of great events, this is Dave, and I might need your help, Spence and Judy.
Yes.
I recall the year was 2006. The location was the Otis Saga Hotel.
Okay.
At the Rotary event. Yeah, and I think you were up there, Spence.
Yes, we're.
He was, Bill Davidson was given that special award that goes to few Rotarians where you're recognized for club service, international, and a fourth one that just, but that plaque was given him in front of the entire Rotary district. I may not have all the facts, but that's epitomized him as a Rotarian at the end of it. Do you recall? Judy?
We
or
do. We
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that. It was wonderful.
I
Well
was-
deserved.
I was president and had the great fortune to introduce him and talk about, somebody that is so humble
Yeah.
and works so hard.
Yeah, that was Bill.
This is Linda. I've never met him, but I appreciate that his photo is there of when he was younger. Because I've only seen pictures of the one with his Rotary apron. So it's nice to see a photo of him as you knew him. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah,
Anything else?
this is Jim Doy again. I didn't know Bill in the older days, but I did know him probably the last 15 years or so. And I love that picture with the Rotary apron because that, to me, that epitomizes Bill Davidson. Always just had a smile on his face, always willing to contribute to help. As Larry said, he helped paint the Legion, but you know, whatever event he was involved in, any organization he was involved in, he'd be, you know, front and center as far as willing to help out. But two gentlemen.
So I think I already mentioned
This is
before.
Dennis.
Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
I just have to say, okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just to say that I knew him when he was in that pit on the right. He was my JV coach, and
Who's talking now,
for
Dennis?
2 years, it was a great event. He taught me a lot more than just playing. And I was also on that very first year of the cross country team. And then I graduated, so I wasn't on it as good, but I did letter my first letter in anything that was very strenuous, like running. But been friends with him ever since I met him when I was a sophomore in high school. Tore my heart out when he died. So it's very upsetting. But he was a
Also,
great man.
Dennis
Yeah,
was
still
Dennis was responsible for getting Mr. Davidson into the Sidney Alumni Wall of Fame as well. So that was very nice of you to do that. Obviously, very well deserved.
Yeah, he's one of the few people to be at the Wall of Fame in the sports hall.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm recording this meeting, and so what I was thinking that we could do, if you guys think it's a good idea, is I could cut this video up, make it not the whole meeting, you know, just kind of what you guys had to say, and then could get that video to his family somehow, or do something like that. It's just hard, you know, with everything that's going on. There's no big funeral or anything like that his family could have. So I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I have the capability of doing it, you know, if you guys think it is.
I think it'd be a great idea, Corbin. That would be wonderful. I mean, we know Betsy too, but the family, that would be super.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this recording is edit it. Like I said, we'll cut out all of the, you know, Rotary meeting stuff. Really, just include what we talked about here. And then if somebody can tell me the best way to get that to his wife or his, you know, whoever you guys think should have it, I can put it on Facebook. I don't know about that. Just looking for some guidance. I can do it.
I don't know if Betsy, his wife, is very technically savvy,
I was worried.
be on a computer or anything.
Yeah, no, she's fine. I have her email address too, if you need it, Corbin.
Okay. So you could send it to her in an email. And then she could maybe share it with her boys.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Corbin, I was hoping that this meeting would be sent out to all the Rotarians who could not attend at noon today, so that they have a way of keeping up with what was said today.
Yep. So that was originally why I started recording this, the meeting, is so that we could have a copy of it. And then it just kind of popped in my head to put this Bill part out, and get it over to his wife. So I will have a copy of the whole meeting too. I'll just edit this part out, kind of make it separate, its own thing. But yeah, we'll have a copy if somebody wants it.
Yeah, crying, are you?
Good.
Yeah, crying, are you?
Any last thoughts here? Or we set to move? All right, so Judy is going to go over the annual report. The whole thing is here on your screen. I realize it's a little stretched and might be difficult to read. So Judy, what I did is I broke down each one of these parts, and we can walk through it a little bit as piece by piece, as we get a little closer look at it, okay? So again, I shared this in the chat, the PDF file, with everybody. Some people are having a difficult time opening it, so I'll email it out after this meeting is over, and hopefully we can have it there too. But I'm gonna let Judy take the reins here. You just let me know when you want to move on to the next section. You just want to start here in the first one.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is apologize because when Corbin sent this out, I hadn't fixed the header yet. It really is July 1st, 2019 through 6/30/2020. So it's for our fiscal year that ends in June 2020. And the first line, we all know that we pay our membership dues, and we can see that the expenses, the invoices that we pay to international and district, a combination of the two, actually was a little bit more than what we collected in membership dues. You're probably going to see that at the end of fiscal year 2021. Because the international and district dues were increased by a little bit, and we did not share that increase with our memberships. So we're going to be a little behind on that one as well. Meals, most of you knew that most of the meals we were actually subsidizing because we had to pay a minimum to the caterer, and sometimes we were paying more than what the actual membership showed. But again, so that's why the net there is 1,248, less than what we had actually collected for meals. Along with Happy Finds, I don't think I need to do much explanation on that, and the 50/50 raffles, the $E for the dictionaries. We actually spent money in the 2021 fiscal year on more books. TG does a great job in collecting monies for that, and she actually collected, even through this pandemic, in the new year, she's actually collected close to $100 already. The jugs, we didn't focus a lot on those throughout the year. They really should have been passed around on the tables and things like that, but we did collect a little bit in the polio and scholarship jug money. There was one chicken barbecue last year in the month of October. The $1,563 expense that we incurred there was for some advertising that we did in the Penny Saver. Moving on to the basket raffle. I can't read all that. What I did was try to make notations on the side so that people know how much work is actually involved. Oh, does somebody have a question? No, okay. Stop me. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions going forward, okay? So the basket raffle, there's a lot of work involved in that. We did not have that this year because of the COVID issue, but it was a great fundraiser for us in the past. You can see the poinsettia sales in December also goes pretty easily, thanks to Kyle and the work that he puts into that. For polio, what we generate as far as a fundraiser on that, we send straight to international, to the foundation, which that helps us get grant money whenever grant money might be available to us, and we'll see a little bit of that further down. Radio days, Anna puts in a lot of time and effort on that. Unfortunately, this year, I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but we're not going to be able to do that because of COVID. So we're losing that fun part of our fundraising this year. Hopefully next year, we'll be back at it. The pancake breakfast that we usually have had to be canceled because of COVID. St. Patrick's Gala that last year, Larry had done a tremendous amount of work pulling that together and earned us a lot of money for for our scholarship fund. We weren't able to do anything similar to that this year. The spring flower sale, Lorraine did a great job in trying to find an alternate to that. So that worked out really well,
Who's talking?
considering.
She worked some magic. I think. She did a really good job making that work.
Yeah, she did a great job on that. So typically, we usually budget about $1,000 for that particular fundraiser, and we were able to hit $1,000 with the gift certificates that we sold, and also that was really great, and it helped us out tremendously. Down to the golf tournament, again canceled due to COVID last June. You want to move it up, Corbin?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so a lot of community projects. I think we as Sidney Rotary should be pretty happy with ourselves, proud of ourselves, blessed that we are able to do the things that we do as far as community projects and the monies that the support that we get from the community. ACO, again, thanks to Larry, sent us a grant for $2,500 last year. RILA support, we received an additional $175, and again, actual RILA was canceled. So those funds will be going hopefully against this year if we can have RILA this year. The scholarships, we were still able to contribute $4,500 from our net funds available. We did not have to use our investment account for that. Again, allowing the investment to continue to grow, and hopefully we'll never have to tap into it. Well, never say never, but as long as we can continue to fundraise and fund it, we'll do it that way. If not, we always have that to fall back on, and use that if need be. Honor Society dinner, again, another great event for our seniors. The 269 in revenue that we see there are for the meals that the Rotarians did pay for on their own. And then the actual expense for the dinner was the $1,100 that you see there. The prior year, we had supported a backpack program. I don't know how many of you remember that, and a toothbrush program as well. And what we see here are reimbursements from district against the funds that we had initially put out for those two programs. So that's showing the reimbursement and the grant money that we received from the district. We had 2 Christmas families last year. Again, Larry was great in identifying 2 families that we were able to help out with gift certificates. I believe, Larry, to Great American, and was it Kmart?
It was actually Family Dollar. It was their choice. That's what they wanted, so.
Okay, that was great.
This whole meeting. Just hang up.
The Sidney entranceway, again, Anna does a fantastic job in recruiting and doing a lot of work herself and getting the entranceway prettied up with flowers and cleaning it up and all, so that was great. St. Luke's, we contributed $300 for the use of the cafeteria, their conference room, for us to have meetings. We also contributed to a fundraiser that they had. Memory serves me correctly, maybe somebody else can help me out with this. I think they were looking to get a new heating system or something like that.
I think it was a new furnace, boiler or something, yeah.
Right, that's okay. I remember heating, but that's, yeah. So we contributed to helping them with that as well. The plaques in the library had not been updated in a long time. And Dennis was good enough to take on that responsibility and get the plaques updated, and that was at a cost of $108. We also contributed to the digital sign at the Sidney Library, which is up and running and everybody can see when they pass through that intersection. The Sidney Center Park project, thanks to Bill Roach, brought that to us. We were hoping to be able to get some funding again through the district, but that didn't work out. But even so, we were able to contribute $2,500 to that project. And Bill, I'm not sure where we're at with that right now, but hopefully it'll work soon, and we'll be in there fixing stuff up. The grants for Joshua House, we contributed that $1,200 for them to renovate a bathroom in one of their facilities to make it more handicap accessible.
Judy,
Yes.
did you get reimbursed from the grant for that?
Not until this fiscal year.
Oh, okay.
A little bit late in getting the information into them, and also the grant for EMS for the chair that they wanted to purchase. So that's another $740. And I believe we got reimbursed for that as that one, a portion of that as well. And, you know, we lost Gil last year, which was really sad. Another great individual, another great supporter of Rotary. And in memoriam, we received gifts of $205 to Rotary. Thank you. Okay, so pretty much all of our receipts and expenses except for our administrative expenses. So our supplies and badges for new membership came to that $262. Our post office box is $112 a year. We had purchased some checks that I needed more checks so to pay our vendors for the $105. Our vocational community service awards, the plaques, came to the $354. President's discretionary fund, really cheap here, the $50 that we spent. And we also could purchase computer and equipment so that we could have these Zoom meetings and get the stuff online for people who weren't able to our regular Friday meetings. We're trying to find the board any way that we could increase our participation at the meetings and make it easier for people to stay connected. So, and then you can see that at the end of the year, our checking account balance is the $4,242, and we have savings of $3,000, $3,080.
Thank you, Judy. Anybody have any questions for her about any of that? I can go back to this one.
I thought we had more in the checking.
We did last year.
Oh. Yeah, I thought it was about 13 grand.
Oh my goodness, we haven't had that in a coon's age. Long time ago.
Yeah,
Well,
when I do remember something, it's outdated, so that's the way it goes for me, I guess.
I wish we had 13, but you know, it's been hard this year with not having meetings together and no happy finds and no 50-50 raffle or anything
I'm a little surprised,
like that.
Judy,
So,
that the meals show on here when we haven't had meals since March. Wouldn't you say it? Hasn't it been since March that we have had no meals?
I think we stopped in April, but you're still talking the first 9 months of the year.
Oh, okay.
And then, so even though it shows a negative for the year on the total, a lot of the money is just because time-wise, we'll be reimbursed for that in the next calendar year. Is that correct? Or the next fiscal year? Like when you were saying the digital sign and the grants, the district grants, those would get.
The only thing that will be reimbursed for is the Joshua House and EMS.
Okay,
Right.
There's about $2,000 there.
okay.
And also keep in mind with the scholarship fund, the original goal that Larry had set was to get that to 100,000, because then it should go on in perpetuity. It should, you know, all things hold with the stock market. And so it's reached that number, it's exceeded that number. And so this, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, other board members, but I think we can turn this positive if we have to by just not contributing at this for this year, right?
Correct. So if we don't have the funding available to do it, you know, if we don't have enough fundraisers or anything else to do all of the community projects that we would like to do and everything else, there's always the investment fund to fall back on to pay that scholarship, plus the scholarship money. So we're still going to be able to do that, thankfully, because of the fundraising and the monies that are in there. Even if we may have not generated enough funds during the year for it. So thankfully that's going to go on for a long time, you know, whether or not we can generate the funds within the current year to cover it.
So when you say investment fund, is that the checking and savings account, or is there another fund?
We have a separate fund for the scholarship that was started many years ago.
Okay.
And that thanks to Larry's efforts with the St. Patrick's Day Gala, pushed it well over the $100,000. That money is, I can never get the name right, so somebody,
Dr. Lynch?
Jim Doig, if you could help me, community.
Dr. Lynch?
Well, you talking about the Dr. Lynch Scholarship Fund?
Yeah, but it's under the community, something of Sidney Rotary.
Rotary Club, no, God, now I'm drawing a blank. It's got Rotary in it, but it's a community fund.
Yeah, so it's actually through the community fund. So not entirely in our name, so, but it's there. It's
Okay. Any other questions for Judy?
One thing to be clear on, there were several years that built up to that $100,000. I know that each president had something to do with that. I mean, so I just wanted to let everyone know it was past presidents that were able to, you know, and the club, of course. This has been going on for how long, Jim? 15 years, longer?
Probably somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, because I know not everybody probably remembers back that far, but when that started, Tom Graham was very, very instrumental in starting this and getting this thing going and off the ground. And another important point was that the first many thousands of dollars, there was actual matching grant from the Mirabito Foundation.
Yes.
Of $25,000. So our club was able to raise $25,000, and because of that, there was a matching challenge grant from Mirabito, so they put $25,000 in there. So there's $50,000 out of that $100-some thousand right there. And then, of course, this is a good and bad thing, but when the senior Lynches passed away, their children put some more money into the account too.
Yep, and then I hit him up for even more.
That's right.
Yeah, Larry strong-armed him.
I cannot.
The Sidney United Way also put $50,000 in.
How much, Dennis?
15,000.
15,000.
Yeah, so there's another nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of at the end of December 2020, the balance in the fund was 120,967. So again, you know, that scholarship fund is going to be going on for a long time. Whether or not we can continue to fund it as a Rotary Club year by year.
Anything else for Judy?
Well, just one more point for the rest of the club, and because Judy reports on this every month too to the board, but we have that Bound Endowment Fund. This is
Yeah.
Jerry Bound. When he passed away, he put, what's the balance? Somewhere around $40,000, Judy?
I believe that's correct.
Somewhere around there. And that's money that some of you might remember, but not everybody, has been contributed by Jerry upon his death. That's earmarked for exchange program.
Yes, and I'm sure that the family must understand that right now, we can't do anything because of COVID on that.
I would think they would have to understand
sure
that
they-
right now, yes.
You.
Yeah, I mean,
But it is a program that even before COVID, we kind of slipped a little bit.
We can.
travel's really restricted right now, so.
That's right.
All right. Not to push ahead. Are we all set with the annual report? Anything else?
No, that's good, Corbin.
So.
Thank you, guys.
Next thing that we got to talk about is what we're going to do in the future. What you see here is our current slate of officers. I put little asterisks next to past presidents. I hope I got it right. Just did that from memory, so I might have made a mistake, but the asterisks are for past presidents. And the biggest thing that you'll notice here is we have no president-elect. We have no vice president. And so this is going to be an issue come June. And because of that, we needed, or we have come up, I gave it a name. I called it the Strategic Planning Committee. We need to meet, I think, as soon as possible, but I wanted to get the word out to the club before we started meeting in case there are any non-board members that would like to sit on this committee. My goal for today is to pick a date and a time next week where we can all get together and try to start figuring out, you know, what our path is going to be moving forward. So you're always welcome to come to the board meetings. Those are always the same date and time every month. We are going to have probably consistent strategic planning committee meetings as well, probably monthly. So the invitation is out there. I was thinking maybe Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever. Those of you that want to do it, if we can agree to a time and a date right now, that would be good. You guys have any thoughts?
Wednesday is not a good day for me. Wednesday night.
All right, so how about Tuesday? Can we do Tuesday at 5?
That's the
Okay,
second, right?
okay,
So
Changing it to Tuesday?
yeah, we're gonna go for the strategic planning committee. We're gonna get together on Zoom. I'll send out an invite.
not the regular meeting.
It'll be on Zoom and that'll be Tuesday. I don't have the date. Like February 2nd, 3rd,
Second.
So February 2nd, it'll be Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'll get the invite out to the board members that I know that want to sit on that committee. If you haven't told me that you do, just let me know and I'll get the invite out to you as well. These are the things that we really need to talk about. How the club operates, the structure, if, you know, how long we're going to be doing this Zoom thing for, or if we're ever going to merge the two and have, you know, in-person and online meetings. We got to talk about the leadership, how that's going to proceed moving forward, the structure, again, of the meetings, the type, the location. Are we going to keep buying food all that stuff as things get better. And then I think it's crucial that we talk about how we are going to adapt, because Rotary is changing all over the world as far as how clubs are operating and the way that they're doing things. Not necessarily because they want to, but because they have to. And I'm worried that if we don't start making some of those changes to adapt to this new world, we're going to fall behind. So if you want to come to this committee meeting on Tuesday, just look at those 4 things, kind of come with some thoughts, some ideas, and hopefully we can come up with a plan that's going to move us in a positive direction.
I'd like to attend that, but I am in a conference on that day, which goes to about 5:15. But I will try to join your meeting.
Do you want to set it up as a recurring monthly thing? Is that a good amount of time in between? Or should
So
it be
you're saying the first Tuesday of the month?
first Tuesday at 5 p.m.?
Sure.
All right, so let's plan on that.
Corbin?
Yeah.
This is Dennis. Would you invite me?
Sure. Yep.
Thank you.
Whoa, we skipped slides. So again, this was actually from the last PowerPoint that I put together, and it just kind of goes over this again. We got to think about what our meetings are going to look like when we can get back to in-person meetings. A lot of things weren't working before COVID. And a lot of these things, I think, were an issue for a lot of people. So again, just think about those things before Tuesday. Judy went over a lot of this already with the annual report. We've had to cancel a lot, almost all of our meetings since March. The golf tournament was canceled. The basket raffle in 2020 was canceled. Rotary Days this year was canceled. Pins for polio hasn't happened. Rosemary seems to think that we might be able to do something if things improve. So we might be doing a pins for polio in the summer this year. I don't know. We might just be canceled for the year. Still not sure how that's going to play out. The basket raffle. I think a lot of you are familiar with Carrie Green. She's the president of, it's not Otsego County.
Commerce Shenango.
Shenango County, yes, thank you. Shenango County Chamber of Commerce, and they did a online raffle that she said was very successful. She gave me step-by-step instructions on how to do that. So we'll talk more about that, I think, probably at the board meeting and see if that's something that we want to do. But there could be a basket raffle in the future too. The golf tournament, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for. Hopefully we can get that. It's all outside. I don't think it should be an issue for a golf tournament in June. The pancake breakfast, I think we're still planning on doing that. Of course, it won't be, inside, come in and sit down. It'll be more of a drive-by kind of to-go deal. But as far as I know, we are still planning to go ahead with that.
Where would our drive-through be?
The
parking lot?
So, I mean, that's what I would say. We haven't really determined anything yet, but.
Okay.
Well, they can still come in the building, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Right, and pick it up.
And pick it up, yeah.
That's good thought. Good thought.
So a lot of the things that are normal for us, as far as the event with the time, a lot of those things are shifting. Shifting into a whole new year, really. And so now the question becomes, if we're able to do a basket raffle, we can do it next month. Are we still going to do one at the end of 2021 too? Normally the basket raffle is right around the holidays. Are we going to market that different? So there's a lot of different things that we need to solidify with these, but that's why they're tentative. So they're in the works. We're working on it. We're going to do it if we can do it. We just don't know quite how yet.
Well, actually, I recall, Corbin, you brainstormed a little bit on basket raffle about how we could actually maybe grow that basket raffle to an internet advertisement.
Right.
And get basket raffle. So there's some room for exploration and growth on expanding that.
Yep.
That would fit the times of COVID and less, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a process. It's a painstaking process. Trying to work through it and making these things work. I'm really confident about the pancake breakfast. I think that's going to go on. It'll look different, but we should still be able to do it. And I don't think there should be any problems with that. Pins for Polio is all dependent upon what Rosemary thinks, and what she's able to do. The golf tournament, I think we should be able to do that. Again, it's outside. It'll be in June. I don't see any issues with that. The basket raffle from last year was canceled. Speaking with Carrie Green, and she has given us a way to do it. So I have a way to do it now. I don't know if we just hold on to that way until next time we're supposed to do a basket raffle, or if we do it.
Corbin, I'm a little surprised that you don't have a tentative here for the spring flower sale.
Oh, I thought we would just do that again, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that is a plan, okay.
Yeah, it's just not tentative, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Corbin, on that basket raffle, you said Carrie had made a profit. How much of how much did they make? Did she give a dollar amount?
She didn't give me a dollar amount, but she did give me a cost. So the auction was put on by an online service, charged them $250 for them to facilitate the whole thing. So depending on what they were selling and that sort of thing, and how much success they had with people entering into the auction, and I'm sure they made a good amount, but I don't know for sure.
Because I'm wondering if, since we didn't do it for Christmas, if we were going to do it, we can say it's a Christmas in July basket.
Yeah, something I think we need something to anchor it to. You're right.
It needs to be tagged to a holiday or something.
So, okay, so those are all the tentative things. We're going to try to do them the best we can at a time that we think we can do them. So, anything else here? Any questions on any of this stuff?
Nothing on that, but I'm not sure what, and maybe in the strategic planning, and Bill might have some information on this. I know that last year we weren't able to really do anything as far as grants, or we didn't do anything because they needed to be, if I remember correctly, Bill, they needed to be COVID related. It was one of the stipulations that they put on it. Has Bill gone?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you
Can you
now.
hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, wasn't that they put a restriction on it, but during the grant process, the day that we sent, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, the insinuation was, and that's really how it turned out. Turned out that we, but there were other grants. I just sent one to a couple of weeks ago to Corbin. That's the one I got for Sidney Center Improvement Group, and that was $15,000 that we got. We got the highest amount. So that's another one because there's a whole section just on the community. Jim Doyne, you know the name of what's the name of the organization? The community organization?
Community Foundation of South Central New York.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. They have one that's just very specific for community and community projects. So if we can come up with a community projects, we could apply both to Rotary and to the Community Foundation. But they need a project. What is it that you would like? For us, it was the Sidney Center Improvement Group was for the park, in which we got the $15,000 for the walking trail.
I'm gonna have you talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, Bill, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
I hope I answered your question.
So through the district, right now, we don't have anything that we're applying for through the district then, for a district grant.
Right, I would be more than glad to do that if we could come up with a project.
All right, so that's that's the big question. We need folks to see if they can come up with some ideas about what kind of a project we can do and apply for the grant on that. Okay,
Mhm.
So,
thank you, Bill.
thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
What you see here on your screen is, I think, a good part of the reason why we're not doing in-person meetings currently. These rules came from St. Luke's. We are able to meet there in person if we meet all these requirements here. Can't have any more than 25 people. We can only have 2 people at a table. Can't eat. There's sanitation stuff everywhere. So if we ever do get back to wanting to do in-person meetings and COVID is still prevalent, these are all the things that we're going to have to do. We've done it once already. It really isn't that much of a hassle for me or for anybody else that needs to put all this stuff together. It's just kind of weird, you know, sitting at those big tables with only 2 people. We can't have more than 25 and no food.
Corbin, have you talked to St. Luke's recently in the last couple of weeks? Because I had heard, but I don't know if these are just bad rumors, that the church had closed down again due to an incident with COVID.
I hadn't heard anything from Dave.
Actually, I think it was Leidy that was quarantined.
Dave was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard anything from him. I hope he's doing okay. But I had just told him we weren't going to meet there until further notice a while ago.
Okay.
Corbin, let me check on that with my wife and I'll get back to you on the St. Luke's.
Okay, great.
Oh, good, Dave.
That's
Well, is that something we'll talk about in our strategic meeting about whether or not we can try to setting up in person again?
Yep.
Okay.
And so the Rotary Hybrid Club is a presentation that I gave to the, help me, Larry, what was that meeting that we went to? It was actually a strategic planning meeting for like the Rotary.
It was at the district level.
Yeah. And so way back, way before any of this COVID stuff had started, I had this idea that we would stream our meetings on the internet. And the main reason for that was because the age of our membership is growing, and it's a lot more difficult for people my age to make it to a Friday meeting at noon. I'm extremely blessed to be able to work my own schedule and to be here when I need to be here. But for most people my age, you know, if work says no, work says no. And I think that's the biggest problem that we have getting younger people into the club, is that they can't come to meetings. So I had this idea of a hybrid club. I had shared it with Matt Adler, the district governor, the current district governor, and he had asked me to come present the information to the district at one of their strategic planning sessions. So I pulled these slides right from that same presentation that I gave them. All that a hybrid club meeting really is, and it was created by this woman here. All that a hybrid club is it's an in-person Rotary club that takes a webcam, a microphone, and a computer, which is why we bought all that equipment originally. And it streams their in-person meetings online. And so, you know, if I wasn't able to make it to a meeting, maybe I could watch it on my phone, or if I was busy with work and I just couldn't watch the meeting at all, you know, maybe I could play it back later when I got home. So the idea with a hybrid club for me specifically was to provide more opportunity for people, younger people specifically, to get involved with the club. I don't think it's because they don't want to. I think it's because they can't. So hopefully providing more opportunities to people with something like this will be beneficial to them. And this is the process that we need to go through to make it happen. So the bylaws have to change. And the board had voted on changing the bylaws, got that approved, and then the next step was that it was supposed to go out to the club. The club was supposed to vote on it. Well, after we had finalized the bylaw changes and got them approved by the board, I had gotten a new computer and I tried to transfer all my files over. I lost the file that the final version of the bylaw changes that we had. So the board has to vote on them again after I redo it. We'll vote on them again. I'll get them out to you guys. You'll have 10 days to look at them before our next meeting. And then hopefully we can vote as a club. We'll have the quorum that we need, and we can get those changes in the bylaws. And all that is really going to change is the ability for these members to join the club without ever having to physically show up to meetings. You know, we'd still expect them to volunteer and come help out whenever they can. But just with the understanding that, you know, 30, 35-year-olds are not going to be able to get out of a work day in the middle of the day.
Isn't this the same term, a different name, but we also had talked about satellite clubs? This is the same, hybrid club, satellite?
So satellite clubs are all online. It'll be just, the satellite club is essentially what we are right now. Just meeting online every time, never in person. Everything is done online. A satellite club could have people in it that live hundreds of miles apart. This is a little bit different in that we're still going to have those in-person meetings. Those are still going to take place. When things get back to normal, they'll still be every Friday in person. We'll still have lunch. We'll still do all those things. This is just really an addition. Make sense?
Yeah, I just thought we had talked about young folks that might want to say, okay, we're going to meet at Awestruck and have a meeting at 7 p.m. Tuesday night. But we're doing this as a part of Rotary. They are just kids who cannot meet at 12 o'clock noon on Friday. So they're going to set up their own meeting and their own location and meet, and that was considered a satellite club of Rotary. And so every now and then they would still combine with our efforts or interact with the main club.
Rotary,
they're having a Tuesday at Awestruck.
Rotary International defines a satellite club as a club that doesn't meet in person. So when do we have that conversation? I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I just don't remember having the conversation.
I don't remember that either.
Well, it was, again, something that we had discussed at a district meeting.
Oh.
All right, so this is the equipment that we ended up buying, except for the go-to meeting software. Honestly, probably just use Zoom now since we're all familiar with it. But the camera is working. I'm using it right now. Microphone is working. I'm using it right now. The laptop works, and it works really well for anybody that wants to use it for Rotary, right? So if you have somebody who wants to come in and give a presentation someday, you know, we now have a laptop that they should be able to use to do that. And I've tried to yell this from the rooftops that we have this laptop because it's just been sitting in my house hopefully almost a year, and nobody's really wanted to use it yet. I know that we bought it primarily for the streaming purposes, and we just haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. But I just wanted to make you aware again, if you are in need of a laptop for any Rotary project that you're working on, we have it, and I will drop it off to you whenever you need it. Okay?
I thought the purpose for this equipment was so that when we have a meeting, let's say 12 o'clock noon at St. Luke's, with the members who can attend a noon meeting, that you would set this equipment up so that people who could not be there in person because they don't have travel time, could join the meeting remotely.
Isn't that what's meant by a hybrid meeting?
Yes. That's the definition of a hybrid club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So cost of everything is here. We actually pay, well, I pay $15 a month for Zoom. I think we'll probably just stick with it. Again, we'll talk about that more at the strategic planning meeting. But we have the equipment already. The bylaw changes, I have rewritten them, reworked them. They are done and will be shared at the next board meeting so we can vote on it. The changes are small. They're really simple. There's nothing that is groundbreaking for the club. And if you are an in-person meeting goer, and you always will be, nothing will change for you other than you'll see a microphone and a camera in the room now. One of the biggest things I think that we need to determine is if somebody is only coming to meetings online, how would that work if they were elected to a board position? I think that we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? That's way down the road. These are some of the things that we were thinking about for these bylaw changes. And again, I have them rewritten. I'm going to share them with you at the next board meeting. You can send them out to the whole club as soon as the board approves it. And then once the club for the quorum votes on it and approves it, and we get back to in-person meetings, then we'll be able to do it, create this hybrid club type of system. But
Does the equipment that you have give us the ability to record our meetings so that if people can't join us at 12 noon, that they could listen to a meeting at 7 o'clock at night? Does our equipment have that capacity to record?
recording this meeting right now.
Well, you are now, but I mean, if we were meeting at St. Luke's, you could record the meeting.
Yeah, Zoom is the software that does the recording. So
Okay,
you open up Zoom on any computer, you're gonna have
okay.
that capability.
Corbin, why is it $30 when it used to be $14.99?
So we were looking at broadcast software, right? And the go-to meeting was $30 a month. We like the go-to meeting because there's two-way communication. A bunch of other different, I actually deleted the go-to meeting slide out of here, so I forgot all this stuff. But there's a lot of super cool features that we like with go-to meeting that we thought would be helpful in getting people to interact if they were online.
Awesome Harry is totally awesome Fulgham.
All put in place before COVID. Now that we're using Zoom, I think we could probably make it work on Zoom.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna
Question, Corbin. Does this involve a change in the charter of the original Rotary Club at all?
No.
Thank you. Also, after checking with Michelle, that is correct. Whoever said that St. Luke's is quarantined, that's accurate until further notice.
I don't think we were planning on jumping right back in anytime soon anyway, but that's good to know. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. So talked about the flower sale already. Lorraine did a fantastic job making this work, forcing it to work. It was a lot more complicated than I think a lot of us know about, but she did a really good job of changing the whole fundraiser, rebuilding it from the ground up, and making it work just as well. So we're probably going to do the same thing, I would think, again, coming up here in a few months. If you see Lorraine, give her a pat on the back. And I was hoping that she would make it here today, because I haven't seen her in a while either. I think probably since the flower sale. So really proud of that, really happy that we were able to do that and Lorraine is the one to thank for it. Linda has a green screen and she's gone, but Linda put together these craft kits. Really, really great. I put it out on Facebook. I sent it out in an email for those wildfires that were raging out west several months back. Did a lot of destruction out there. What she was able to do was put these craft kits together for kids who might have been misplaced or you know, going through it. And so she put together, I forget how many, but a lot of these craft kits that would allow the kids to put together these little Halloween decorations and keep them busy. And that's the whole box of them here that she sent out, and that's, you know, what they look like when they were all put together and how they came in the bag. So did somebody say something?
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I was on, my grandson was on the thing. So I heard you talking about the Halloween kits. Were you talking about the stuff we did? Okay, there it is.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that at all? You did a really good job with that.
Well, it was really fun. We had the kits, so that way then everything was all pre-cut and everything was done. So nobody, whoever it was, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a parent or whoever, they didn't need any supplies. Everything was right there. So all they had to do was just put it together. So that worked out well. And then Sue was in the call, and she suggested maybe doing it for Red Cross. So when we did it for the Red Cross, she was going to be the contact person because she was going to be the deployed. And then she was in a car accident, which she was fine. But so then anyway, long story short, it was designated to a specific group who then I did talk to them, and they did give them out to the kids.
Do you mean Red Cross or Salvation Army?
Red Cross. It was Sue. Sue Koza was going to be deployed with the Red Cross for fires in California.
Okay, I thought she was
able to go.
I thought she was deployed with the Salvation Army.
No, Red Cross.
Red Cross, okay.
The Red Cross. But anyway, what happened was it all came together, and so it went to a specific church, which was like the liaison, and they were all distributed.
Did you ever get any feedback from them on that?
Other than when they first received it, no.
Okay.
I put in there was a card in there too, which said it was from the Sidney Rotary. So.
Yeah, the card. This was the card right here that was in all those bags.
Yeah, but it says, "We are so sorry." I don't know, it's cut off on my screen, but you know, "We are so sorry that this happened. And from your friends, blah, 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 everything, you know, instructions, and from your friends, Rotary Club in Sidney."
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
All right, Bill, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, so Bill has been doing a ton of work with the Sidney Center Restoration Project. Eventually, they're going to need volunteers to go out there and help put everything together. I'm hoping we can be those volunteers. What you see here is kind of the layout of how things are going to look. I don't know if you can see it, Bill, but I just have that overview, kind of the zoom, or not the zoom, the drone picture of the area with all the labeled spots on it on the screen right now. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, that would be good.
Sure. No, I'm on my phone, so I can't see anything. But it's actually Mike Sleddy who's been really the impetus to all of this, and he's just done a remarkable job with this group. And I guess their plan that we have is the equipment was ordered last week for the walking trail and the workout station. And I believe there are going to be 10 workout stations that'll go throughout the park. And each one of them will have a symbol of Rotary on it, so that in part it was donated by Rotary. There'll be a gazebo, and I think they're in The students at the high school have been remarkable in, I think, the workshop classes where they built the picnic benches, the shed. I know there's a gazebo in the plans. There's a bridge to go over the waterway that's there in the plans. So it's a work in progress, but it's a nice group of people. And yes, we will be looking forward to having Rotary help us put all of that equipment together and set this park up for the kids and their families.
Great, thanks, Bill. So yeah, in the spring, hopefully we can get some volunteers out there and help them. I'll keep you updated on that as we know more.
And there have been other organizations. I know Dennis might have something to say, but his organization has been also involved in helping this group in the Sidney Community Group, and we're thankful for that.
All right, so when we are able to get, a setting that feels like normal, we still want to do our banquet dinner where we would honor our vocational award winner, which is the Sidney EMS. Don't have a date for this yet. Don't know when that date will be because, like I said, we want it to be as much of a normal setting as possible. We want to be able to have people come in and eat. We want to have people be able to come in and speak. And so whenever that happens, this is going to be one of the first things I think on my agenda is to get this done. They've done an incredible amount of work around here, especially over the last year. I think a lot more work than maybe they thought they were signing up for. So if anybody deserves this award, it's these people. And I don't know if we've ever given it out, as a group before. Maybe we have. At least as long as I've been here, it's never been given out to a group. But this is going out to a group. And so whenever we can do it, it's going to be a very nice banquet dinner. We're going to honor Linda there as well. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later, but I'm not going to force it to happen. Like I said, I want it to be a nice evening. So,
can I just say my name is misspelled?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I can't fix it here.
There's an H in there. Yeah, GHUM. I'm just saying, in case it's on the plaque, just.
Oh no, that was just me typing it in there earlier. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's wrong. This is right.
All right. So for our next meeting on February 12th, 12 p.m., we're going to get back here on Zoom. I want you guys to send me some information on what you've been doing, on what you guys have been up to. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be ugly, it can be beautiful. I don't care. I really just want to know what's going on in everybody's lives. So I went ahead and shared a couple of pictures of my own right now, just to kind of get some thoughts going. I did have a brand new baby girl born in November. Her name is Eliana. This is my other daughter, Emsley, and my oldest son, who's a freak. His name is David. And then my wife Kelsey is here. But so this is kind of what we're looking for. It doesn't have to be, anything like this. It can just be how you were spending your time. Maybe you're reading some good books or whatever, and you want to talk about it. You want to get it out to the club. You want to share it with the club. That is going to be the program for the 12th. So I need you to send this stuff to me so I can get it all onto a PowerPoint beforehand. Send you out a reminder. Hopefully we can get a good amount of people to be willing to do this and have a nice program for the 12th. Any questions on any of that? I know we're running close on time, so I'm trying to speed it up a little bit.
I did mine this morning, so just.
Did you email it to me?
Well, I did it on band. It said to,
All right.
or no, I did. I emailed it to you. I'm sorry. I did.
All right. All right. Any questions on that, on what we're going to be looking to do next?
Other than it's a little cutie pie. Those faces look so happy.
It's a rarity when they're all smiling.
Your wife looks happy too. Maybe you're not there and that's why she's happy. I don't know.
Probably. All right, so this was Matt Adler, he's our district governor. And again, I'm rushing through this now because we're running out of time. So the 2020 end of year reflections from Matt Adler, I will include this in an email as well,
District guy.
just because we don't have enough time to go through this. But I highlighted some of the important stuff. I think really the only one really important that I mentioned is that Rotary International selected its first woman president.
Do you
Which
recognize?
is
Oh, there he is.
leaps and bounds from where we
At
came
our
from
meetings.
when women couldn't even be in Rotary. So we've come a long way, and I'm really happy to see that a woman has been named or is going to be the Rotary International president. I think that's big news. That would be number one for me if I was making this list, but I thought I would share all that with you.
That's almost mind-boggling. It's 2021 and there hasn't been a woman president. That just, wow.
We were barred from Rotary
It's about
for a
time.
long time.
That's right, guys.
Well, they've only been allowed in the club for 30 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they should have to wait 50 before they get in a position like that.
Oh, boy.
All right. So this is some information on band. I hope that you guys can see this and hear it okay.
Listen.
You hear it?
How can you save time when informing your team of schedules or important notices? Simply posting on your community board will do the job. Write down the announcement. You can throw in videos, photos, and files too that need to be checked beforehand. Upon completing the post, all members in your band will get an instant notification. Then, your members can share feedback or questions right below in the comments. Check the read count to make sure no one missed your post. Or, give them a friendly reminder via chat if they did. Adding your post as a notice will keep it at the top of your group feed. From now on, no one misses any important announcements. Got an event coming up? Members can RSVP easily, and you can check participation in a glance. You can also add dates, locations, and more. Now members clearly know when and where to go. Don't miss other powerful group features that you can attach to a post. Poll the group for opinions, check attendance, or split bills.
Okay. So I have been trying now for the last few months to get a better form of communication for this club. I'm sure all of you are overwhelmed with your emails. You know that I am. And so what I wanted to do was create a place that you could just consider to be your Rotary hub, right? Nothing else should come in and out of that place besides Rotary information. So that's what this is. The problem is we need people to get in to accept the invite and get into it. I think once we get people in there, you'll find that it's going to be way easier to communicate with other Rotarians. It's going to be way easier to plan things, plan events, and it's going to be way easier to know who's going to show up and know who's going to be there to help you, do whatever you're doing. There's a lot of really great features using this, but we got to get people in there and signed up. And so in the past, I've sent out invite links. I've sent out this packet, about a 20-page packet that explains how to sign up, how to do all this stuff, how to accept your invite link. All that stuff is in that packet, and everything you need to get started is in this packet, literally called Getting Started. Okay, so I provided all this information out to people multiple occasions. We still don't have very high number of people in there yet. So, and so for those of you that are, I haven't been doing much with it yet because it's just not enough people. If we can get more people into it, I think we are really going to benefit from it. We'll have a shared calendar. I mean, there are a lot of different ways that we can use this. And so here are some screenshots that I took a while ago, some conversations that Rosemary and I were having are on there. This would be our shared calendar where everybody would see this calendar, right? So if I were to put something on there, like a pancake breakfast, everybody's calendar would have that on there. If I needed volunteers, I could ask for volunteers and you could just click join and you would volunteer that way. And I would know exactly who's coming. You would get an alert on your phone the day of telling you, hey, you got a pancake breakfast, you got to go get there in an hour. So we're only scratching the surface on really what this app can do. I used a lot of communication group apps like this when I was in college. They weren't quite as sophisticated as they are now, but they are extremely effective at getting things done. And so I think once we get people in here, I think it'll be really good. But again, I think we have 11 or 12. I think we have 12 members in the Rotary Club one, and a lot of those are board members. So hopefully we can, through word of mouth at this point, because I'm running out of other ways to get people in there. If you're in it and you can help get other people in it, please do that. I'm grasping at straws at this point. I don't know what else to do to make this work. I know that it will work if we can get the people in there. I just don't know the best way to get them in there. Here's some other things about it. We can save some pictures on there. You know, all of our Rotary pictures would now be in one spot where everybody could go back and you can look through the different years if this was a continuing thing. I can upload files on there. I can share the board minutes with you. I can share, this annual report, those documents. I can share everything with you right here. It'll all be organized. It'll all be categorized. It'll all be here in one spot on your phone. You won't have to search through your emails. You won't have to, wonder who got your emails, because you'll be able to see who read what you said. The efficiency of this is,
too, right?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the newsletter would be on there?
Yep.
Okay. I just now downloaded the app. I mean, I had joined on my laptop, but now, I mean, if you can see, I mean, I just now downloaded it on my phone. It took like while you were talking, that's how quick it was, just to go ahead and do it.
Well,
and Rotary, your PowerPoint's on there and everything else.
I walked through doing the app download with, with Tony, but also with, the guy he was the chiropractor at the
Rick Cordes.
Rick Cordes, thank you, yes. But have you ever heard from either one of them to participate in band, Corbin?
I have never spoken to Rick Cordes in my entire life. I have no
I'm
idea.
asking, on band, their band app that they downloaded on their phone, have you ever had them respond? I have never seen them respond to anything you've put on band.
Well, so keep in mind, Joan, I've been active with band, but it's been the board of directors band. It hasn't been the Rotary Club band. So it worked really well for the board, I think, and be able to communicate and get things done, but it's separate. That's a separate group from the Rotary Club of Sidney.
Well, what I'm saying is I tried to help people download the band app, but I'm not sure that they are connected properly to the Rotary Club.
Okay, so this is how you do it. Look on your screen. Once you get an invite link, you click on that link. It'll add, if you do it on your phone, it's going to ask you to download the app. You download the app, you sign up, you verify that you are who you say you are, and you put in your name and all that stuff, how you want people to call you on the app, and then you hit accept and join. Once you do that, you're in.
So if they do that, Corbin, do they need to download the app they already have on their phone, or can they just go ahead, leave that on there, and still go through your invite?
They can just click the link.
Okay.
As long as they have an account set up. If you don't have a band account set up, what's going to happen is once you click the link, it's going to ask you to make one. If you already have one set up and you're logged in, you click on that link, it should just take you right to the Sidney page, and you can accept the invite there. That makes sense?
Well, Judy, are you and Spencer on band?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Plan on it.
Dennis, are you on band?
Not yet.
Judy?
I thought I was, but I'm having problems, so I'm going to try it again. I originally did it on my phone. I'm going to try on the computer and make sure. Corbin, you had said that there's one for the Rotary Board, and then there's a second one for Rotary members.
Right.
So we have two apps that we would have to download,
It's
or
one app, two groups. So
One app, two groups.
when you open up the band app on your phone, it'll list all the groups that you're in. If you're in multiple, it'll show you all the different ones. We're gonna have one that's called Sidney Rotary Club Board of Directors, and then there's another one that you can be a part of. That's the Sidney Rotary Club.
I'm not sure that I myself have anything other than the board.
Okay, this is Jim. This is what it looks like on your phone. I've got both the board and the club. So, I mean, it looks the same, but they're labeled properly. One says Rotary Board, the other says Rotary Club.
Well, let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have that. Okay, so I am. I don't know if you can see mine. I've got two. So
Okay.
I am right.
So you should be all set.
Okay, so I just need to, Corbin, the whole reason I'm asking these questions is I'm trying to help you understand that this looks easy from where you're sitting, but for us out here, this is not quite that simple.
I understand that completely. And it's
Okay.
why I had given you guys a 25-page book.
I know you did, honey.
Very specific instructions.
I know.
Very specific on how to do it and what you need to do. So, and I've offered, every time I've sent the link out, I have offered people help. If you need help, you can't figure it out, call me.
I think that the next time we have an in-person meeting, if we get people to that meeting who don't have this app on their phone, and actually all the stuff you just flashed on the screen, I just need you to sit with me side by side and show me how to do all those things you just showed me in that PowerPoint program. Because I'm sorry, I'm not
100% willing to do it, and I have been willing to do it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I just need to meet with you in person to do that.
yeah, whatever you want. Whenever.
Okay, okay. Well, this is time consuming. Well, maybe if you teach me, then I could teach other people.
Yes, the most complicated part of this whole thing is getting people in there. And once you're in, you really don't have to do anything but read it. Open it up like a normal app on your phone. So that's been the struggle, is just getting people in the door. I'm running out of ideas on how to do that. So try to spread the word. If you're not in it yet, please get in it. And then help others get in once you're able to do that. And of course, if you get stuck, call me, send me an email, send me a text, whatever, and I can help you get going on it. Okay. And so I know we're way over time now, so I'm just gonna leave you guys here with this. Here are the 7 focus areas of Rotary, and I just want you guys to think, especially for those who are going to come to our strategic planning next week, which one of these areas, are we not maybe doing such a good job in, and if there's something that we can improve on somewhere, where is that area? And then the last thing I have for you before I let you go is just a reminder of all the important things that are coming up. Our next board of directors meeting listed here. We have determined a time and a date. It's going to be, what is it, the 12th, we said, right? No, the 2nd or the 3rd? Second. Tuesday the 2nd at 5 o'clock. I will get a Zoom invite out to those who have requested it. I'll get that out to you. Should be able to do it today. The next club meeting is going to be on Zoom. Let everybody know, again, if you need help or if you think somebody needs help getting connected and getting set up, I would love to do that. You just have to ask me, and I can make it work for you guys. So just let me know. And then let me know if you know somebody that wants to be there, but they're just not sure about the technology, because I'll give them a call. Okay. Last thing is, please, please, please send me something that you want to share with the club. Once you do that, I'll get it into a PowerPoint, and hopefully we can have 10 or more people. And I think that would make for a good program for next week. My mouth is super dry, so I'm going to stop talking. Does you guys have anything else that you want to say? Go ahead, but that's all I have for you guys today. So,
Corbin, did you say that you're going to get an email out to everybody about, now that we've got the date set for next Tuesday? Are you going to let all the club members know about that?
I was just going to send it to the people that said they were interested in attending, but I can send it out to the whole club.
Well, I just didn't know as if you knew that everybody who might be interested knows about it. They should, right?
Well, that was my concern, and I had sent out an email a couple days ago trying to get people to show up here. So we can't force people to show up, and if people aren't going to show up, do we really want them planning
Corbin,
strategic plan? I don't know.